Hey everybody, so we talk a lot about gut health, detox, and even genetics, but none of those matter much if your cell membranes aren't functioning properly. Because everything, your brain clarity, your hormone signaling, your ability to detox or absorb nutrients, it all starts at the membrane. And if your membranes are inflamed or rigid, your cells cannot communicate and protect themselves or even function efficiently. Hi, my name is Lisa Andy Garcia, and I help people optimize their brain health so they can feel calm, focused, and productive. And if that sounds like something that you want more of in your life, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of the tools and education I will be sharing next week. Today we are going to be doing a deep dive into the cell membrane and what it's made out of, why it matters for your brain and your body, and how you can start supporting membrane integrity and flexibility today. So first of all, what is the cell membrane? Every single cell in your body is surrounded by a lipid bilayer membrane. That is a thin, flexible structure made primarily of phospholipids, cholesterol, and proteins. This membrane isn't just a protective wall. Okay, you can kind of think of it as like mission control. It decides what comes in and what goes out. How the cell responds to the environment is also where your cellular receptors live, including those for insulin, thyroid hormones, neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, and even immune system signaling. If the membrane is damaged, inflamed, or made from the wrong types of fat, all of that communication can suffer. So the phospholipid bilayer means two layers of lipids. Lipid is fat. It's made out of hydrophilic, which is a water-loving. So it's a hydrophilic head that faces outward, and a hydrophobic, which is water-repelling tail that faces inward. These create semi-permeable barrier that lets certain things pass and keeps harmful components out. But the quality of that barrier depends on the types of fat that your body uses to build it. Healthy membranes are made from phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylserine, and essential fatty acids, especially DHA and EPA. If your body is using oxidized seed oils or trans fats to build those layers, membranes become rigid, dysfunctional, and inflamed. This is a huge problem that we have today because every processed thing, or when you go to restaurants and all the fried stuff, it's all seed oils. Now you are starting to find restaurants here and there that are using tallow, which is beef fat. Okay, so that's different. But oxidized seed oils, it's like rusty seed oils, you don't want that to be making your cell membranes. So why does this matter for brain health? So neurons are especially dependent on healthy membrane function, but why? Okay, number one, because the synapse, which is that gap between neurons, is only effective as the membrane's ability to send and receive signals. Membrane receptors regulate neurotransmitter sensitivity, which affect mood, focus, motivation, and sleep. The myelin sheath that insulate your neurons, that's also membrane derived. So we talked about the myelin sheath a couple of weeks ago, I think. Inflamed or rigid membranes can show up as brain fog, mood instability, poor stress tolerance, insulin resistance in the brain, sluggish detox, and mitochondrial fatigue. So how do the cell membranes get damaged? So we talked about oxidized and processed fat, so things like canola, soybean, sunflower, and corn oil. Blood sugar dysregulation, high glucose damages membrane proteins, toxin exposure, chemicals, mold toxins, heavy metals, they all degrade that phospholipid. Chronic inflammation, that drives oxidative stress and impairs membrane repair. Methylation issues, so SAMe and phosphatidylcholine are required for membrane synthesis. Nutrient deficiencies, especially choline, DHA, vitamin E, and magnesium. So signs of membrane dysfunction. You're not going to find membrane health on a blood panel, but this is what it often looks like. Fatigue that doesn't match activity level, brain fog that worsens after eating, overreaction to supplements or medication, trouble detoxing, histamine sensitivities, hormonal resistance. Thyroid labs look fine, but the symptoms persist. Anxiety and focus issues that worsen under oxidative stress. On a blood panel, though, look at your lipid. The lipid panel is going to be your best indication as to what type, how your body is doing with fats. So how are you going to support membrane activity and flexibility? So you can, first of all, get rid of the damaging fats. You eliminate seed oils and processed snacks. These fats get incorporated into your membranes, but they don't work, okay? So it's like building a house on wet cardboard. Oh my gosh, I have a totally funny story. When we owned a house in San Diego, it was a Victorian house, and we were renting out one of the units, and we were redoing it. And inside the shower, we were putting tile. My husband was doing it. He stayed out kind of all night to put this tile, and I bought this tile from Mexico, and it had these tiny little tiles. And so he put the grout on and used the tile. We came back in at 5 in the morning, and I'm like, wow, that took you a long time. And because it was downstairs. And he said, no, what happened was he had a whole bag of Fixol that he thought was grout, and he grouted the whole thing with Fixol, and the whole thing starts crumbling because Fixol isn't grout. It doesn't harden like grout. It's like kind of more like cement, right? And Fixol is more, you kind of patch things, you patch holes with it, and then you repair over it or whatever. So he had to remove the entire thing because he was using the wrong material. You know, they look the same color-wise, but he used the wrong material for it. So I just thought about that on my spur, and we just got a bonus story. So add membrane, so ditch the damaged fats, add membrane building fats, prioritize wild-caught fatty fish, also egg yolks and beef liver for phosphatidylcholine and choline, sunflower lecithin or phosphatidylcholine supplements, especially if supporting detox or methylation, olive oil, avocados, coconut oil, grass-fed ghee. Those are all the safe, really good oils and fats, and tallow, and even lard, like some pork. And then support methylation. Your body uses SAMe to methylate and activate phosphatidylipid production. So if methylation is sluggish, membranes can't be repaired efficiently. So you can look at my previous videos on that. Boost antioxidants. Since membranes are prone to oxidative damage, support it with vitamin E, vitamin C, glutathione or NAC, polyphenols from berries, herbs, and green tea. Balanced minerals, magnesium, zinc, and selenium are all involved in membrane enzyme function and antioxidant defense. Regulate blood sugar. Even healthy membranes can't survive frequent glucose spikes. Balanced meals and walking after your meal equals better insulin sensitivity and less glycation damage. So you really want to make sure that you're balancing, especially as we get older, insulin sensitivity becomes an issue. So we have to be very careful about what we're eating and making sure that we're walking after we're eating to balance out that system. So if you've tried to support detox, fix hormones, calm your nervous system, or to improve focus, but feel like the changes aren't sticking, then you might be dealing with cellular miscommunication. And when you fix a cell membrane, sometimes suddenly your cells start hearing all the signals again. So this cell membrane will allow the nutrients to come in if it's healthy, and allow the toxins just to kind of flow on out. So if this helps you to see your symptoms from maybe a slightly different angle, then give it a thumbs up or subscribe for more root cause tools like this. One of the things I do in my program is to put attention on the cells and the membranes. If you're interested in learning more about that, check the link in the description to book a free call with me, and we can look at your symptom patterns and your lifestyle and your metabolic picture, and I will help you map out a personalized plan to bring clarity, energy, and communication back to your cells, because your body isn't ignoring you, it just needs better instructions, and then it all starts at the membrane. All right, I will see you next week. Bye-bye.